Okay, well, I'm here with Freedom Wynn, Sinon Insir, and Greg Midell. These are three of my really good friends. I play tennis with them. We hang out. We do all kinds of things together. And I thought we would talk about what the Christmas traditions are at people's house because we're from different parts of the country. Greg's from the upper Midwest, Freedom's from Northern California, and Sinon is from Turkey. So we're going to hear some different things from him. Let's start with Greg. So, Greg, let's talk about this two different ways. You grew up in the upper Midwest, Illinois, right? Only child. So, what were the traditions in your house? What was it like Christmas Eve? Tell me about growing up at your house.
Well, Christmas Eve was always a gathering of my aunts and uncles and my cousins, and we'd all get together with my grandmother, my parents, and everyone, and we would have just a very classic Christmas Eve dinner and gift exchange, and we would sure have a good time. The kids would rule the house, and we ate everything in sight. We made a huge mess and had a lot of fun. Very special memories.
Now, did you guys open presents on Christmas Eve or was it Christmas morning?
In that case, we got together, we would open them Christmas Eve, but the family, my immediate family, always opens their gifts on Christmas morning.
Was there a particular tradition? Like, I know your mother really well, and we call her the Colonel. She kind of runs everything, and she is the absolute sweetest woman in the history of the world. Did she have certain things that she made, cooked for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day dinner? Was she the one that did all of that, or was it everybody bring something themselves?
She did the majority of it. We would have a big feast, and my grandmother, when she was alive, God bless her soul, would be involved, and we'd have fantastic big turkey dinner with stuffing and mashed potatoes and great salads and everything. And then my grandmother always made red velvet cake, which is something that's always very special in our family, even to this day. Our routine today is pretty much what it was decades ago.
I've had red velvet cake at your house, and it's good. I don't know where it came from, but it was good. Now, growing up as a kid, is there any special Christmas that you remember or special gift that you got? Your first bike, your first game, your first anything? Was there a Christmas that stands out with you, or do they all just kind of run together?
Well, I think as you grew up, I look back when I was really young, getting my first Schwinn bike, I think it was, and it was a cool bike with high handlebars on it, which was kind of new to the scene at that time, and it was always a lot of fun. And as you grew up, every few years there was something even more cool, be it a game. Then you get the car bug, and you hope that your parents figure out that you're going to want a car someday. I didn't get one for Christmas, but I always let them know that's what I was looking for when I turned 16. And even today, having young children of my own at 10, my wife and I mean, Christmas is a big deal, and I know they'll remember all of their fun gifts going forward. But bikes and cars and games and toys and fond memories with a lot of good food.
You know, that's one of the things that I talk about, and you've read my book, Family First. You know, Greg's really special to me because he's the first person I met with regard to the Dr. Phil show. I'd been doing the Oprah show for, well, right at 4 years, right? And we made the decision that it was time to do Dr. Phil. And we were first going to do it at Harpo Studios. And then Oprah and I got to talking and decided that would be too much of a load on Harpo Studios in Illinois, so we were going to take on a production partner. We started meeting with different production companies, and as soon as I met Greg Midell at Paramount, the hunt was over. I mean, we met and clicked immediately, right? So I came to Paramount. Greg was there about another 5 years, and then Fox stole him away, but our relationship went way beyond professional and just what we were doing with regard to the show. Hell, I think we played tennis the day you went from Paramount to Fox, and here we are 18 years later. We just came off the tennis court right now, and I've watched your kids be born and grow, and I'm just curious. You know, I talk about in Family First that it's so important, I think, generationally, that we have rituals and traditions and customs in our families. It's kind of what marks our memories and our histories, and that we pass those on to the next generation. Have you consciously done that? Tell us about your two and what you've done as far as carrying those traditions on from what you did growing up to what you do with your kids now.
Well, it's a big part of our life, and it is a huge tradition. Christmas Eve is very special. We get everybody together. We go to Christmas Eve Mass and then come back and have this huge feast. And my mother, who's 85 now, and my grandmother, or the kid's grandmother, is there. Her tradition is a part of it. We even kind of get a little over the top. We have great caviar on Christmas Eve night. That's one of our rituals. And then the next day, everybody shows up in their Christmas pajamas, and we light the fire, and we open our gifts, and we literally stay in our pajamas the entire day, and then have another great fun dinner with everybody together, and we never leave the house. We cling together from Christmas Eve through the end of Christmas Day.
Well, you have a son and a daughter. Which one gets most excited about Christmas?
Well, they both do, but I think that my son Blake in particular, he loves games, he loves sports, he loves music, so we kind of try to look for something that goes along with his nickname, DJ Blake, because he loves being a DJ at 10. And so anything that he can do to add a mix or two to his music system is what it's all about. My daughter loves games and dolls and toys, so it's very special.
Now, your wife Nancy is really all about home and making everything feel comfortable there. You've now been married, how many years is it? 13 and a half years. Do you guys still exchange gifts 13 and a half years in, or do you just make it about the kids?
Well, I keep trying to make her realize it's just about the kids, but she likes a couple special gifts under the tree, I must say, and it makes it very special. So I always try to surprise her. Jewelry is always a good start, something fun. And Nancy is a great homebody full of festivities and everything. And she comes from a huge family. She's one of 7 kids, a big Catholic family. So celebrating the Christmas holidays is very, very important to all of us. And it is a tradition.
How great is it to have your mother? And, you knew my mother, of course. And when they get to that age, every year that we have them is a blessing. And I know you'll have your mother this year at Christmas. How special is it that she gets to see your kids grow up and be there for these Christmas traditions and all of that? Because this is really special to her, isn't it?
Very special. It all started with her, years and years ago. And she makes sure that that tradition continues, both in making sure we get to Mass, to going to church, to enjoying our festivities in the evening, but making sure we are together as a family is what it's all about. And we do have a lot of fun.
Well, one of the traditions that you and I share is, I don't know how many years it is now, but I've been on the tennis court at noon on Christmas Eve every year for I think it's 38 years now. You and I have been on together. This will be our 18th year. At noon on Christmas Eve, we're on the tennis court. We might be finishing, we might be starting, it might be in the middle, but when that clock strikes noon, we're on the tennis court, and we haven't missed in 18 years. You realize we're at 18?
It's something that I look forward to every Christmas Eve because we get in there, we play hard, we have a lot of great laughs getting all the guys together to enjoy the camaraderie of playing tennis together and everything. But it starts with you. You made it a very special moment in all of our lives. It's a great tradition. And then you work up a great appetite for the rest of the day. So I'm ready to go have a feast after that.
Well, thanks for sharing your traditions about the kids and all. Anything special for the kids this year? Made your mind up yet? I'm sure with Blake, it's got to have to do with his music.
Definitely with his music. We've had piano recitals. We just finished that over the weekend. I know we'll be singing around the piano during the holidays. And our daughter will be playing, she's all about Frozen. She loves Frozen, and the play Frozen is here now. And Frozen 2 just came out, so we're going to have a good time.
I get asked all the time on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, who are my friends? Do I actually have real friends that are not in jail or something? So they get to hear from you, and you're such a great dad. And like I say, I've known your mother forever, and you've really made her proud as a son, and her watching you as a dad and the things that you do. I talk to her, and it's just really special, her watching all the success you've had, and particularly the success you have as a father and a husband. That's really special to her.
It starts with you, and I recommend everybody read all your books because, including your keys to success and how to keep your family bonded and together, it's very special. So thanks for being a dear friend, and best to you, to your family on a fantastic holiday. It's always so festive at the McGraw home. It's unbelievable. You would think that you're at the North Pole when you walk through the door. The trees, the lights, the colors, all the accoutrements that go along with it. The McGraw house is a very happy house during the holidays.
Sinan, talk to us a little bit. Now, you have a shorter story to tell because you're from Turkey, and I asked you if you were going to tell us about your traditions, and you say Turkey's a little different.
Yes, Turkey is a 99% Muslim country, so we don't get to celebrate Christmas there. So when I was growing up, the only thing that we did is to skip English classes for 2 hours, and like we played soccer or basketball on Christmas Day.
So is that a day that's recognized at all?
No, not at all. Nobody probably knows even about it.
Really?
But we do celebrate New Year's Eve.
You've been in the U.S. now for 10 years. And once you got here, did you start celebrating Christmas?
No, not the first few years. The first few years, the only thing we knew was to go to movie theaters because that's one of the few things that are open on Christmas Day. So the first few years we spent our time on the movie theaters. We even saw maybe 2-3 movies in a day because we were so bored. But eventually, in the last few years, we started celebrating Christmas like other people here, and we started inviting our friends to our house and do like a big feast.
Has it gotten to be a special day to you now? I mean,
Absolutely.
Is it something you look forward to?
Absolutely. Me and my girlfriend love to cook to all of our friends. So in the last 3 or 4 years, we've been inviting a lot of our friends and cook for them. And I'm really looking forward for this year as well.
You've got this girlfriend. If you do get married and if you do start a family, is Christmas something that you would introduce to the family?
Absolutely, yes. I think it's a great way to see your friends and have a great time. And also, who doesn't like gift exchanging? I mean, everybody loves it.
Well, I want to point that out because you'll be wanting to get all of us gifts come Christmas and everything. All right, Freedom, jump in here and let's talk about what happens in Northern California in your life.
Oh man, I loved Christmas growing up. I think it was the food for me. On Christmas Eve, we'd have a traditional meal, which included turkey, stuffing, my mom's famous mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, and my favorite, honey-baked ham. As I got older, it was my duty to start picking up the ham. This was considered a rite of passage in my family, so to speak, but I think my parents were just sick of waiting in that long line. And then on Christmas Day, we'd see a movie and get round table pizza.
Is that like a brand of pizza?
It is. And it had to be thin crust.
So was this a big thing in your family, Christmas? Is it something that was really celebrated in a big way?
It was. My parents went all out. And I think being the only child, I got to reap the benefits of that. A big tradition in my family was I was only allowed to open one present on Christmas Eve. And then I had to wait to open up the rest Christmas morning. So as you can imagine, knowing me the way you do now, I did everything I could the weeks leading up to Christmas Eve to try to get permission to open just one more present. I even took out the garbage, I ate my vegetables, I even drank V8, and I hate V8. But yeah, I tried everything. And no matter what I did, they stuck to their guns, and I could only open one on Christmas Eve and the rest on Christmas Day. And I've lived away from home for a very long time and been doing things on my own, but when it comes to Christmas traditions, my parents are not budging. And I still can't get more than one present open before Christmas Day.
Is this something that when you look back on childhood and think back through it, is this one of the things that really jumps out at you? Do you remember Christmas fondly, or is it birthdays? Is this up there in your memories, traditions, rituals that you think about with regard to your family?
Yeah, definitely. Christmas is a big deal. You know, brought our family together each year, and that primarily consisted of my parents, my aunt and uncle, and my 2 cousins. But beyond those obvious reasons, I looked at Christmas as another chance to catch that ever-elusive gift giver we know as Santa Claus. Again, I tried everything. I stayed up till the wee hours of the morning. I set motion detectors by the chimney. I hid behind the couch because my parents would always help me set up cookies and milk on the coffee table by the chimney. So I hid back there thinking that maybe if I can get a sneak peek, I can catch him in his act. But nope. Still till this day, every year I try, and I've yet to catch this guy. I will, one year. Maybe this year. Watch out, Santa.
I hope you catch him. Well, one of the things we always do at Christmas around here when we get around and have dinner is, and I talked about this with Robin, we always take a minute to reflect on the blessings that we've had during the year. And I think that's a really good kind of habit that we've gotten into. And, I really recommend that because when you look back over the last year, I know the 4 of us, I think we would all have to say we've had a really blessed year. Wouldn't you guys all agree? Totally had a really blessed year. And I hope that's true for people listening.